Beethoven cellos. So I am recording again in Elm. I'm here on the same day, and this video is going to be titled Beethoven Cello. I think it's lesson 3, but the topic today is Minuet number 2, and it's part 1. So before we start this video, let's go ahead and take out our Minuet number 2, and I'm going to take mine out. All right. So I have my Minuet number 2, sorry, part 3. Another thing you're going to want is a pencil, okay, to take notes while you're doing this, because it's not my intention that you're going to be watching these videos every single day when you practice. I hope you watch them maybe once a week at the beginning of the week to remind yourselves and take notes about things that you need to fix and you want to review tomorrow. Okay, but today we're going to only be talking about the first half from measure 1 through measure 16. Okay, so that if you're having trouble, you know exactly which video to come back to. Okay, so before we get started, I want to take a look at the first measure. And in our last video, we did a section on arpeggios, and we've talked about this before. What is the first measure? What technique, what are we doing in the first measure? Yes, it's an arpeggio. It's a C major arpeggio at the very beginning. So all the techniques that we used for our arpeggios, walking our fingers, high wrist to get us, are all the things that we need to do right now when we're playing this. Before we start, I want to remind us of our bow. So I'm going to play the very first 2 measures for you on open D string, talking about only our bow distribution, okay? So let me get my hand ready. 1, 2, 3. 1 and 2 and 3 and long, half, half. I'll do that again. 1, 2, 3. 1 and 2 and now it's long, half, half. Okay, so why don't you grab your bow and why don't we do that together? 1, 2, 3. Loose, 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 long, half, half, loose, 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 long, half, half. One more thing about that in measure 2 and in measure 4, and actually all throughout the entire song, throughout the entire piece, we have these long bows and then 2 connected up bows that are connected with dots. Now those dots, yes, they do mean staccato, but in this case, we're going to make them a little bit smoother, a little bit more beautiful to listen to. So they're more of a whoosh, whoosh, like kind of that backwards pretend bird flying or something, rather than a stop, stop. We don't want that at all. Okay, so I think now we can add our fingers to that. Your fingers need to be walking totally independently of each other. So let's try this together. This is the very first line. I'm getting my hand ready, my high wrist, okay? Maybe listen to me first before you do it. 1, my turn, I'll play first. 1, 2, 3. Let me try that one more time for you. Just take a look. Listen to how long my bow is. 1, 2, 3. One thing about this that most of you are doing in class, you weren't opening your bow on the A string all the way and then bringing it in. You were kind of pulling your arms back. So you have to really open your arm here. You can go ahead and pause the whole video if you'd like to, and you can play just the first line until you feel really confident with that. Okay, so we worked on the first line. Let's work on the next line, okay? I always love playing everything open string just to really think about my bow distribution. So if you want to, you can just join right in with me. I'm gonna play our entire second line, so that's measure 5 through 8. I'm gonna play that open string, open D string, thinking just about my long bow, my bow distribution, okay? 1, 2, 3. Did you see that? So yeah, we have quarter, quarter, eighth, eighth, quarter, quarter, eighth, eighth. Now upper half, quarter, upper half, and slowly move the bow. Let's try that one more time. Actually, why don't we try it? I will play the melody, but you play open string, okay? So it will help you hear the melody. You play open D string, I'll play the melody, and then we'll have a chance to put it all together. 1, 2, 3, open string. Notice how as I come into my frog, my elbow's going down, but my wrist is going up, which lets me have a beautiful sound without getting stuck. Okay? Good. I think we can add our fingers. If that was tough for you, pause the video. Always pause these videos at any time if you're not keeping up with me. Not everybody keeps up with me all the time. Okay? But don't skip anything. All right, so I think it's now time to add our fingers. One thing I just want us to really notice is that between measures 5 and 6, we really have that big walk between our C and our G. A, C, G. We have to really engage. Remember, don't be tempted just to move that fourth finger over. Move your elbow, always your elbow, okay? And then one more thing to notice is that between measures 6 and 7, we do have a teeny weeny hop between our C and our F. And that will be just a very quick hop. No rolling, you can't smush it over. All right, should we try it together? Hands and fingers. Are you ready? Loose wrist. 1, 2, 3. Okay, I think this is probably a really good time to pause this video and work through that. If you need any more help with that part, I've given you pretty much all the directions. You just got to make yourself do it. All right, so we had line 1, that's done. We worked on line 2. Go ahead and pause, fix that up. Okay, we're back. Now, line 3, which is measures 9 through 12, that's exactly the same as as the first line. So we don't need to go over that again. We will go over that when we're putting these lines together, but right now we don't need to fix that, okay? We're taking small sections and we're building it up. So we need to go on to measure 13 through 16. Just like everything else, I want to talk about our bow distribution first, okay? Specifically in measures 13 and 14. So let's look at measure 13 and 14, and we're going to think about our bow distribution, okay? We have quarter, eighth, 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 quarter, eighth, 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 eighth. If you'd like to, let's try that in open D. 1, 2, 3. Quarter, 2, and 3, and 4, 2, and 3, and. Okay? Please know I'm very slow right now with my tempo. We will speed it up, but right now we're staying slow. Let's try that one more time on open string. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, and 3, and frog, 2, and 3, and. Okay, that was pretty good. I think we should just do that part now with our fingers. Looking at our fingers, it's pretty much just simple down the steps. Okay, so I'm ready. I'm going to have my G ready, but I'm going to play open A. You set? You can play it with me, or you can practice it first and pause, or just listen, however you'd like. 1, 2, 3. Let's try that again. 1, 2, 3. Open arm. Now close it. Okay. If that was a struggle, if that was too fast, if you want to pizzicato at once, do that now. But don't go on until you've got bow with finger at that tempo, sounding really beautiful and in tune. Okay? Good. So the last part of the line is measures 15 and 16. And you all know that we have 3 notes that are grouped together. They look like eighth notes, but underneath there's a 3. And we learned that that's a triplet. And all 3 of those notes together equal 1 quarter note. Now, I've given you a lot of warnings that triplets tend to get rushed. And if anything, they need to feel fat. Triplet, triplet, okay? So listen to yourself. Are you rushing? Probably, okay? Good. So I'd like to just do, I just like to do the last 2 lines, but we're not going to do an open string first because it doesn't really help us that much. But please remember that the triplet is 1 quarter note's worth. It all equals 1 quarter note in time. And we're going to use a full bow on that, okay? So it'll be triplet, quarter, quarter. One more time. 1, 2, 3. Triplet, quarter, quarter. Maybe you do that with your bow for a second. But let's try that on our D string. Let's try that with our fingers, okay? So this is measure 15 and 16, and we're going to try just playing it right now, but we're going to really focus on our bow. 1, 2, 3, triplet. 1, 2, 3. I think we should try that again. Triplet, G, B. There's so much more time than you think. Don't freak out about this. It's slow. Let's try that again. 1, 2, 3. Okay, pretty easy. All right, now the hard part comes in. If that was hard for you, pause, practice, okay? Always pause me, just pause me through these videos. Remember, they're not meant for every day, meant for going through it once and really exploring what I'm telling you. Rewind, pause, whatever you need to do, take notes. The hard thing about the triplet is going from eighth notes to triplets, okay? Because an eighth note is a quarter note divided into 2. A triplet is a quarter note divided into 3. So it's a little bit of division work for us, a little math work in our playing. And we just have to kind of feel that until we really can do it. So I think that we should really just try right now to play the entire last line together, okay? Just please remember when you're playing your eighth notes, it measures 13 and 14. 1, 2, and 3, and. What will help you is if you're still feeling that quarter note. 1, 2, and 3, and 1, 2, and 3, and triplet, ba, ba. Okay, so if you always make sure you're feeling the big beat, you know how to fit your notes in there, okay? Let's try that. This is measure 13, and we're going to try it together. Or you can listen once and try it by yourself. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 3, 1, 2. And we do have a repeat sign, so there will be a circle at the end of that as we go back to measure 1. Let's do that last line one more time. 1, 2, 3. pause, practice, or let's finish the video now. So we worked through all of Minuet number 2. We worked through every single line. And you've done those. If you've gotten to the end and you've done everything that I told you to, you've paused the video so you could really work through and feel confident, you've gotten there. But you're still not done with part 1 yet. You still haven't put the whole thing together, because let me tell you, it's much harder playing everything together. Okay, so now is the time to go back and work on that. Or maybe you don't finish it today, and maybe you say, I'm going to put this away, and you finish it tomorrow. You go back and you redo all these little lines and you start putting them together. Okay? Because remember, doing it right once is only doing it right once. Okay, that doesn't mean you're going to do it right every time. It means you did it right once. Okay, so you want to do it so many times that you can't do it wrong. Okay, that's where you want to get to. Okay, my next video will be the second part of Minuet number 2, which is a lot newer for us. So I'll probably be doing even more detailed work with that. But this is a good start for us, so a good review, and mind the details, okay? That's what's gonna make this so much easier when we get it faster, okay? Because next week, we'll start bumping up the tempo a little bit for us. All right, you guys, thanks.